I think I started it. Okay, good morning. We're going to go over 2.0 and the advantages of 2.0 and the differences of 2.0. So far, everybody that's used 2.0, we've got the cattle parish up there, completely all them parishes up and running the PDs. We got up in Monroe and all the parishes in that area, the Richlands, the West Monroe, the Monroe PD, the Ouachita, I believe 10 on them. I'm kind of losing track of them. They're all now on 2.0. We were going to come on and get you guys and then go, I don't know, where I just do what they tell me to do, I guess. So, but anyway, the differences I'm going to tell you real quickly are, the biggest differences are, number one, everything in 2.0 is real time. So if you need to make a change on a warrant or on a template, where it took months, weeks to do it before, because we had to send it to our coders to do. Now everything can be done real time. In fact, everything can be done really from a local admin now. That's probably the biggest change on the officer side, that we're able to adapt templates, make changes, add new templates, all within not a very long period of time. We recently did one for a group up in Ohio. They called us on a Thursday afternoon. And again, this was very quick. We can't always do it this quick. But they were going to arrest about 90 people the next day. And what was happening up in Ohio is they would go arrest the person. They'd take them to the jail. And the first thing they do when they got to the jail, they say, okay, I've got a fever. I've been in New York City. I've been on a plane. I got a cough. Well, the jail's not going to take them. So what happens is they got to go get a COVID test. And at that point in time, they had to do blood draws to do a COVID test. So they would take them to the hospital. What's the first thing that would happen when they get to the hospital? They would refuse the blood draw. So we were able to, within about 40 minutes, put in a brand new COVID blood draw template, complete new template in for them. They arrested 90 some people the next day and actually had to use the template about 7 times to get a blood draw. So things like that can happen. The other thing we're going to find different is the Android and iOS apps. Now, first of all, the iOS app is always behind Android. It's going to always be behind the Android in development because Apple is just so hard to work with comparing to Android. So, but the detectives got full function, the judges got full function, and you can completely from start to finish through the app, type a complete search warrant, arrest warrant, whatever warrant on your phone. You do not have to have a laptop. You do not have to have an iPad. Now, there are some restrictions on the group leaders and masters and Officer A and Officer B yet as we're working through them. But I think most of them are gone now. So I think everything's pretty much up and running. On the Android side, everything's going except for the local admin side. iOS, we have a few more things we got to change. But you are able now to completely write a warrant on your smartphone. Okay. So let's go through the very toughest thing about 2.0. The very toughest thing about 2.0, and that is getting logged in the first time. Yeah, believe it or not. And we have added some security features, and from what I'm understanding, we may even have to add true dual authentication. That's a CGIS thing, and we're trying to make sure we're updated with all the CGIS processes, even though some places aren't so high on CGIS, some are, but they are asking now for a true dual authentication, which we are real close to it with this. In fact, I really think it is dual authentication, but we may have to make a few more changes. But you go to the same place you did before, www.warrantnow.com. Go ahead and click 2.0 rather than 1.0. Log in with your email address, and I'm using the emails they just sent me, LIVP, let's see, SOOTA at WN.com. I guess that stands for Livingston Parish Sheriff's Office, Officer A. And I'm going to put in a real simple password. Now you can see I've also got to put in a security code. The reason for that is partly the dual authentication. The other thing is if you have two codes, you actually don't have to go through and have them fancy codes where you have, you know, a capital letter, a number, a small letter, a special character. You don't have to have all these things. Now, the first time you log in, you're going to receive an email or a text that's going to give you your username, which is your email address, and a security code. So when you log in the first time, you will log in, you will get this page, almost the same page as this, but it will say password, confirm password, security code. So you'll put in the password you're making up. It can be the same one as 1.0. These systems are not tied together at all. Okay, and then it will be confirm the new password you set in, and then the security code. Then you click here, I'm not a robot, and then you click log in. Now, what will happen at that point in time, the screen you just saw will show up. You will put the new password you just created, the security code in, and then you'll log into the system and you'll come to this page. The first thing you need to do when you get to this page, and this again is the hardest thing, you go up there, click up here where this little hamburger icon is. Now it's right next to your name. I just learned the other day it was a hamburger icon. Click on here, hit this little key, and then go ahead and put in the security code we sent you and then make up your own security code. That way you don't have to remember one we send you. Okay? Now, I tell a lot of people, make that something very, very easy. Make it your badge number. Make it something like that. The reason I'm telling you that is because you can actually reset your password in 2.0. The password reset in 2.0 works. Okay, so you can reset your password if you forget it. If you can remember your security code, so make that something you can remember, and then you can reset your password. So we're now in the system, and again, you can see it looks very similar to 1.0. Going over quick, you got serial number. That's something internal we're going to be using for something in the future, but I wouldn't worry about that number at all. But you can see in 2.0 now we've run over 10,000 warrants since we cleared it. So this is the warrant number. Again, we can put that in for you, or you can put your own in. The type of warrant, the name of the detective, the judge, the reviewer's name if you have a reviewer, and then the client's name, suspect's name, status of warrant. Now, like 1.0, or somewhat like 1.0, everything runs off the status of the warrant and the type of user you are. If you are a judge and your status of the warrant is warrant filed, well, to be honest with you, Judge, you wouldn't even see it. If you were a detective and the status of the warrant is warrant filed, you'd have certain options here. If you are a clerk and the status of the warrant is warrant filed, you'd have different options here. So the status of the warrant and the type of user you are is everything. Now, you can also see the workflow here on my options that I can do with a warrant. All that can be changed, all that can be edited by your local admin. And really all it is drag and drop. When the detective and the status of the warrant is draft warrant, and if they don't want you to be able to clone a warrant, all they got to do is click on it, drag that out of that box and drop it in another box, and you no longer can clone a warrant. Or if you wanted to send a text, you can add that. Everything that I'm showing you today is real time. It can actually, just 99% of it can be done on the local admin side. So we're going to quickly go ahead and create a warrant. Okay, you can see the warrants. They're in different categories. They're also color-coded. And again, any of these warrants can be changed, edited, even by your local admin. Now, we'll do some training to help them, but at the beginning, we're going to have to be doing a lot of these. But if you wanted to add, you got a medical record subpoena here. If you wanted to add another different type of subpoena, it's a matter of probably, I'm telling everybody, 2-3 days. But it really can be done in about 30 minutes, depending on how busy Ashley is. So let's go ahead and let's click on an arrest warrant. And now what it's doing is actually just going to pull up the template just like before. The other thing, I don't know if you noticed already how much quicker and faster everything is in 2.0. It's because it's new software. And to be honest with you, I'm on a very, very, very slow internet connection here. Okay, name of officer, let's go DT Mike. Glenn's Law, I'm not going to worry about. Date of crime. Now, another thing is here. These boxes can be made any way you want them to be made. So you can see date of crime. I'm going to put in 10-20-2020. 2020. But I can put in, if I wanted to put in that box day before yesterday, I can put that in there. So we've opened these boxes up so it isn't exact military time, or it isn't exact certain dates, and a space can be in there and all them things. Or if you want to, if your admin or your master or your chief or your sheriff want to make them so you have to put in exact military time, we can do that. That can be done. But we just had so many problems with people not knowing what military time was and different things. So I'm going to put in here 10 a.m. See, before that would have never been able to do that. I'm going to put in 5 counts. Now, if you want to put in 55 counts, you can. Okay. I'm going to put in RS code, whatever this is, and I'm going to put misdemeanor, and I'm going to add just like before. And again, if you want to, at any time, you can put, you can type over these boxes, 99 counts, test code, test 2 code, felony, and add. So again, if there's something, a local code or something that you can't find or don't like, that's an easy way to do it. Location of offense. Again, this is like 1.0 was. Location, and then any of these boxes with this here can be, go ahead and we can always put in a picture. And in this case, we're putting in a picture of a Google map. Now, one of the other differences with 2.0, you can actually put as many pictures as you want in it. 1.0 kind of is limited you to, I don't know, 2-3 pictures. But 2.0, if I want to put 5 pictures in this box, I can. Okay, PC area. I'm just going to put a bunch of X's so we can see it. Well, wait a minute. Maybe I'll go over here and pull up a PC area. Let's go ahead and pull some PC. This is actually a test warrant from Florida that I've got, so I just copy out of it. Yeah, close enough. And Control V. Number of warrant. Again, this can be filled out any way you want it. 2021 F009. Item number. I don't even know what that is, to be honest with you. Parish. Accused name. Let's make it for me today. Race. And again, any of these boxes can be made drop downs or they don't have to be. Male. Weight 210. Eye color blue. Address 109 17 Front Beach Road. Birthday 01/02/1961. Yes, I just turned 60 the other day. All right. Again, I've opened these boxes up so I can put 5'9" any way I want to. I can put social security number any way I want to. Distinguishing marks NA and victim information. And now we've created the warrant, and now we're going to hit save. And you can see how quick it just created the warrant. So at this point in time, you're going to go in, you would preview the warrant. Let's do that real quick and take a look at what we have done. And you can see how everything in the new warrant now, 2.0 is just so much cleaner and nicer. You can see the judge has not signed yet. Mike did the affiant. And there's the information I filled out. And we're ready to roll. So in some of your cases, what you do is next you send it to the reviewer. And you can see in this layout, I don't even give you the option to send it to judge. Now we can. Again, your local admin can change that if they want, or we could change it if you want. But I still say it's best to have the option to send to reviewer or judge. That way, if you're in a bind, you can always get it to the judge. But that's totally up to your people and your leadership. So at this point in time, we're going to send it. You know, we could clone it, we can delete it, we could update it, but we're going to just send it to the reviewer. And I think the detective is the reviewer in this layout, so we're going to send it to detective. Now, another thing I notice here, everywhere there's on every one of these times, there's a place to put notes. So you can write notes for the detective. And we're going to hit reviewer. We're agreeing, we're swearing to it. And you can see now we have changed to submit for review. So this warrant is now submit for review. Every time anything happens to this warrant, it's going to change on your screen. It's going to change color and it's going to change the status here. So you now know where it is and what's happening with it all the time. Okay. The other thing is, if you ever want to, here's the audit trail. And you can see the notes I just put in for the officer, but it also tells you who has the warrant. Right now it's submitted for review. The reviewer's got the warrant. Okay. You can tell what time he got it and everything. So we're going to now log in as a reviewer, if I can make sure I log into the right place. Let's see. Okay, LIV Livingston. What was this? PSOD at WN.co. I think that's it. I got it. Okay, there's the warrant we just sent to the reviewer. So the reviewer just got a notification that he had a warrant that he needed to review. So what he's going to do at this point in time is he's going to go ahead and preview the warrant. We're not going to waste our time doing that. And then he's going to approve or reject the warrant. But in this case, let's just say the reviewer approves the warrant. So what happens now is he can go in here and and again, you can see these notes. So it's good. Sent to judge. Again, if you want to put it in, you don't have to. Reviewer approved. Okay, so now you can see the status changed to reviewer approved. So now the reviewer, he has the option here. In this case, his option is to send it to the judge. Okay, or delete it, or preview it again. we can give him the option to send it to the detective and have you send it to the judge. Well, in this case, we're just going to have him submit it to the judge. Now, here's a couple of new things, especially for the judges. First of all, you do not pick, like 1.0, you picked the judge when you started writing the warrant. Okay, there was an issue there. The issue there was if you started the warrant on Tuesday, didn't finish it till the following Tuesday, and if the on-call judge made a change by then. Okay, so then right away you had to change judges. So now in 2.0, we don't pick the judge until you're ready to submit it. Now, the other thing is, in these, and I don't have them here, but next to one of these judges, it may say on call. Okay, next to one of these judges, it may say judge away. If it says judge away, he will not receive any warrants. If it says on call, he's the person that's supposed to be on call. Now, you can still pick anyone that isn't judge away and send it to, but you'll know now who to on call. Now, if the on call judge happens to change, you don't even know that because the admin will change that. You just log in. You don't care. You no longer have to keep track of who's on call if they use the on-call system. And the on-call system gives a calendar they can fill out a year in advance. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to submit it to the Livingston judge. Now, here's a couple of very important things. Mark urgent. If this is an urgent warrant, if you need it taken care of immediately, okay, if you're sitting outside that house, you need to get in, mark it urgent. The top of the text will say urgent. The top of the email will say urgent. And in fact, in the Apple iOS app, the warrant will actually blink red and white because it's urgent. So the judge will know it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I just got a ping. It's probably an urgent. I better at least look at my ping to see if it's urgent. So if you mark urgent, but do not use urgent unless it is, okay? Second of all, though, here's the other thing they're going to like. The judges love this. If you click here, it notifies the judges at a later date and time. Now, the warrant goes into their account. So if they get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and they see it there, they can handle it. Or if Saturday afternoon they got nothing to do, so they log in the system, they see 3 warrants there, they can handle them. They're going to get notified Monday morning that they had some warrants. Okay? They're going to get notified. So if they don't, they don't have to look at their thing, they don't have to go into it, and Monday morning your notification goes off. And that way, if you do a warrant on Saturday afternoon and you want to submit it to the judge Saturday because you're off Sunday, Monday, you can submit it to him and notify him Monday morning. So you don't have to bother the judge on the weekends. You don't have to bother the judge at 3 o'clock in the morning if it's not an emergency. So in this case, we're actually going to mark it urgent, and we're going to send it to the judge. Okay, at this point in time, you can see it's gone. It's no longer in the reviewer screen, so we need to go to the judge. So let's go, let's see, LIV, Parish, SOD, at WN, oh, SOJ, at WN.com. I don't know why I actually had to make this one so complicated. Okay, here we go with the warrant. The judge has been notified just like before. Okay, you can see a little red thing over there. It's an urgent warrant. So he's going to log in, and like he did before, like he always does, he'll log in and preview the warrant. Okay, just like he did before. Once he says, let's just say he's previewed it, and now he wants to approve it. So he's going to go ahead and approve, and then he'll go ahead, he can write notes to you. Good warrant. And then he's going to set bond. Initials is a California thing. So again, special conditions area. Let's set bond on this one. Let's set bond on this one. And let's approve the warrant. Everything's being time and date stamped. And now the warrant is gone. Now you are getting, as an officer, you are getting pinged because you have a warrant that's been acted upon. Now, one of the other big changes between 1.0 and 2.0. 2.0, the bond was never attached to the warrant until the officer printed it. That's when they attached it, okay? So the judge could sign this warrant today, set this bond today, and if he put 5,000 in rather than 50,000, he wouldn't know it. And there was no way for him to know it. He couldn't see it until you printed it. 2.0, the judge can go right up here into the archives and see the warrant immediately with the bond. So he can check himself right away. The other thing you can see up here is they've got what's called Judge Away. This is where the judge, this is put in actually for Judge Craig up in Bossier, because Judge Craig will take warrants anytime, 24 hours a day, except when he's in a fishing tournament. So we actually, the admin can do Judge Away, but we actually put it on the judge's side so they can go in here and click and say, I'm going to be away for a few hours, so don't send me any warrants. So let's go ahead and go, we got one more step here. We're going to go in back as the detective because we're going to check the warrant we just got. LIV, let's see, Livingston Parish, SOTA at WN.com. I think that's it. There we go. Okay, here's the one we just did. You can see it's in green, and you can see it's judge approved. And let's go ahead and preview it real quick. And you can see the warrant is there, signed by the judge, or signed by the affiant, or that's the affidavit, signed by the judge. Everything's time and date stamped. Again, here's the warrant itself, time and date stamped, and then here's the bond. Everything's there, everything's clean, everything's ready to go. And at this point in time, you can download it, you can save it to your PC, or you can print it. You can do whatever you want to with it. So in this case, though, let's go ahead and say we've now printed the warrant, we've executed the warrant, or we've printed it, and we went and arrested the person, and he's in jail. Now we want to take this to the clerk of courts or to wherever you file the records when it's done. You no longer have to do that. WarrantNow will do that for you. Okay, so at this point in time, you go to file records, and you click on, I've got Officer B here as the records department, and hit file records. And you can see now it is now sent to file. So you have now sent the record or the warrant over to your records department or to your clerk of courts, over to you wherever. Now, one of the things I just went by that I should have talked to you about was that one of the reasons we put that little notes area in there, and probably the biggest reason we put that little notes area in there, is that let's say you had a judge that rejected a warrant, or let's say you had sent a warrant in to arrest somebody, then found out you really don't want to arrest that person. In the past, you would get that signed warrant back, and then we would either have to go in the system and kind of move it to a secret file, or you would print it and it would go into your archives. Well, let's say a year from now, if you printed it in your archives and you were auditing your warrants, or somebody was auditing your warrants, and I don't know if that even happens, to be honest with you, but they would get to that warrant and they would say, why in the world did you not arrest this person? And let's be honest, you probably then forgot. So the biggest reason for that notes area is so that if you ever get a warrant that's been rejected by the judge, or if you ever get a warrant, the big thing that you don't want to serve or don't want to execute, you can put notes in there that did not want to execute this warrant, refer to warrant 33867. And that way you've got a record and a trail of everything that's happened with that warrant. It's one of the biggest things that people have asked me over the last 3-4 years. Okay, real quick, I'm going to sign in as a officer. Let's see, LIVPSOO, Officer TB, I believe. If I got all these right, I'm going to be amazed. Okay, now let's go ahead and do you can see here that we now have we are now wait a second, so I leave myself. We are now on the clerk side, or in this case, they've got the filing officers on Officer B. I don't know why she did that, but that's the way it is. So you can see at this point in time, you do have the options now to accept and print, to clone, to preview, to print. Now, I'll be honest, when I set up accounts, the officer at the filing clerk really only has two options, and that is to accept and print, or to or preview, I believe. But so at this point in time, the officer here, or the filing agent, or the clerk, is going to go ahead and accept and print your warrant. So let's go ahead and accept, and again, you can write some notes up here if you want to, but let's go ahead and accept and print. And here's the warrant, and they're going to print it. Well, I'm not going to waste the paper. Now you can see the warrant now has gone to warrant filed. Okay, so when warrant filed is, now you can tell that they filed that warrant. And last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back real quick, and I'm going to show you what this looks like on the detective side. Okay, LIV. Yes. Okay, PSOD at WN.com. I got it. Oh, I finally got the stupid thing. I've been piddling with this thing too much today, so. Okay, so you can, yeah, I logged into the wrong one, I guess. Let's go ahead and Let's try one more time here quick, because I think it was Officer A, wasn't it? Okay, so it's LIV Paris OTA at WN.com. There's taxi. There we go. Okay, so now you can see as the officer side that they filed the warrant. So, and you can go to the audit trail at this point in time and tell who filed it, when they filed it, and all the different things that went on with it. So the old system where you just kind of hope they filed it is gone. Now you've got a complete accountability on who files it, when they filed it, how they filed it, and all that information. And if you go back a year from now because you've lost that warrant, you can go back and ask finally and know who did it, what, when they did it. So at this point in time, the only thing you got left now, one of the other changes from 1.0 to 2.0, this never leaves your dashboard unless you make it leave. Okay, so at this point in time, I filed my warrant, everything's done. Now, if you want to send it to another records department, you can do that. But I'm going to go ahead and hit archive, and I'm not going to read notes, but this is where you could put notes if it was a warrant you weren't going to execute. Now it's in your archives. So again, I would really, as soon as you get your login information, and your login information will be, I would set your account up to start with on a PC because it's a little easier, but I use the apps, man. You would not believe how fast the apps are. They are lightning fast. I'm not a believer in apps and never were a believer in apps, but I'll tell you what, once we started using the apps, I love them now. So, any questions from anybody? Now, one last thing. We were planning on turning you guys over tomorrow. I don't know that's going to happen because I don't know that we're going to have the judges trained yet. So it might be like Monday before we get the judges trained. But when we get ready to go, you're going to receive a text and an email. And what it's going to say is, here is your security code, your username for WarrantNow 2.0. Log in to set up your account. Once we do that, you'll have 10 days with 1.0 on. After that, 1.0 will be shut off. And like I say, I've not had anybody once they started using 2.0 want to go back to 1.0. Not one out of, we probably moved 2,000 people already. Any questions? Not everybody at once. Okay. If you have any questions, you guys all know how to get a hold of me. So if you have any questions or you need anything, feel free to